Hey everyone, this is Lisa from the Rhinestone World, and in this video I'm going to give you an overview of the offset panel in Silhouette Studio and then give you a couple examples of why offsets help out a lot in your designing. So right here I just have a little star in my workspace. So we're going to go over to our offset panel. It's going to be on the right side and it is actually a star with the line around it. So to make sure you use the offset panel correctly, you first want to make sure you have an object selected. So you'll notice I don't have the star selected right now, so all of my options are grayed out. So let's click on our star, and we have two options to start off. We have offset and internal offset. So the way that an offset works is it's basically a line that's made off of your shape. And so the reason why we would do an offset instead of making a copy and expanding it is that when you do an expansion, it actually keeps the ratios totally proportionate. But when you do a line off of it, the ratios do change a little bit. So let me go over here and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So I just made a copy of this and I'm going to change the color and make it, purple. So if I stretch this out, you'll see, I'll bring it to the back, you'll see that it's a little bit further apart in some areas than others. Like it's not super great. With stars, it's not super terrible. But let's go over here, let's click on our shape. And so our first option is offset. So this will create a line off of it, and internal will create a line inside of it. So let's do offset first. So you see here's a preview of our line. Right here we have distance, so that is how far away from your shape do you want your line to be. So it's going to default to 0.125 inches. I can go in there and manually change it. So let's say I want it to be 1/4 inch. I'll do 0.25, and then if you hit enter, you can get a preview. So now I have a preview of it, and then you have corner. So you can make it a sharp corner like this. So you can see it's kind of sharp, or you can do rounded. So most of the time you want to do a rounded corner. I'll use a sharp one every now and then, but I like the rounded corner look that goes with it. So once you have this all set, we can hit apply. So now we have a little line that's made around our star. So let's go right here, and I'm going to go ahead and do an internal offset. So we can go right here, do an internal offset. So you can see we have our line in here, and then hit apply. So now we have another line inside there created. So there's a couple main uses of why you want to do an offset. One of the main uses that I do is if I want to convert something from an object to an outline. So I want it to basically be a ring. So if I go right here, I do my star, and then I'll go over, choose offset. Here's 0.125. I'll hit apply. So now I have two shapes right now. I have my first one, and then I have this offset that I just made. So you can kind of see they're just like sitting on top of each other. So I'm going to take this, bring this back on top, and I'm actually going to use my align buttons to align them. So I'm going to grab both of these, and then this little button here will center them right on each other. So now if I want this to be an outline, I basically have to say, hey, use both of these lines and make them into one shape. So I'm going to right click, make compound path, and now I have an outline of my star. So that's one of the first ways that you can do it. The other way is you can use offsets to create separation between your colors. That helps give better definition between colors and also allows you to do one color designs that kind of stand out. So a great way to do this is with a monogram. So I'm just going to type the letter P. I'm going to change the font over to Times New Roman. So we'll go right here, Times New Roman. And then let's go over here. So I'm going to stretch this out. And I'm going to go ahead and convert this over to a path. So we'll do make compound path. So now you can see the box is a little bit smaller around that. So let's say we want this right here. Let's fill that in. And then I'll type a last name for this monogram. So let's just type Potts. And then we'll select this and we'll make this font right here. And let me fill this in another color so you can see. So we'll do this light blue. Let's stretch this out. So, and also just so you can see, this is a script font, so I need to get rid of these overlapping lines. So we're going to go right here to weld. And then this box and this box are not connected, so we're just going to go over here and do make compound path again. Okay, so right here, let's say we don't want to layer our vinyl. I'm going to highlight both of these and hold down Alt to make a copy so I can show you a couple different versions. So we have this set right here. Now the first thing that we can do is we can basically just take out what's behind our name for that P. So we're going to go over to our modify panel, and we want to do subtract all. So this takes out what's behind it, but it doesn't get rid of your top shape. So we'll do subtract all. And so it doesn't look like anything happened, but you can see that it's taken out. So we have our pots here, and then, you know, we would have to do this in 2 colors. If I were to go over here and do this in 1 color, you kind of lose it. So that's one. So let me go back and undo that color for you. All right, so let's bring this to the side. So now we want to use an offset to create separation between these colors, which help your colors stand out more. So let's go right here. Let's do our pots. I'm going to go to the offset panel. Let's go to offset. And then the default 0.125 is a little bit big. So I'm going to go right here and type in 0.08. Let's hit enter to preview it. And even then, 0.08 is kind of big. So we're just going to bring it to 0.06, hit enter. I like that distance, so we'll hit apply. So now, whenever you create an offset, once you make it, that is what is selected in your workspace. So the way to grab multiple objects in Silhouette Studio is to hold down the shift button. So I'm going to keep this selected, hold down shift, and grab my background right here. So now I have my offset and my background selected, my P. We're going to go back to our modify panel, and now I want to take this offset that I made off of my shape and use that to cut through my bottom letter. So we're going to go over here to subtract. So check this out. And whenever you subtract from a bottom shape, you'll see that you have multiple squares in here because it broke it apart. Keep them selected and just right click, make compound path. So now you can see there's definition between your 2 colors, and then you kind of are able to see the difference between them. So let me move this to the side, and then I'll show you how using an offset can allow you to cut something like this in 1 color. So let's highlight this whole thing, and then we're just going to go ahead and change this blue over. So let's make this black. So check this out. So now we have this nice 3-dimensional look, and we only have to cut this in 1 color of vinyl. So this is great for signs, decals, anything like that, because you don't have to increase your prices because it's all 1 cut. So that's a quick overview of the offset panel and some practical ways that you can use it in your designing. Of course, we have more advanced training on this on our website at rhinestoneworld.com. So if you'd like to learn more about Silhouette Studio, check us out on our website. And if you have any other questions, you can give us a call at 941-755-1696, or you can email us at info@rhinestoneworld.com.